Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video by yours truly. Holy, that natural light is popping today, boy. I'm extra light skin again. Light skin powers coming out. We covered Acheron yesterday. Now it's time to move on to Zestarine, aka Aventurine. Bro is the most extra character I've ever seen come to Honkai Star Rail. Let me just bake him in the oven real quick. Bro looks like he goes to the movie theater with his sunglasses still on. Like, what are we doing here, huh? What are we doing here? Bro looks like he orders a BLT without the bacon and goes, yummy. Bro goes to bed at night with earmuffs and a blackout eye mask on. He probably has like the Santa Claus thing with the little jingle bell in the back. My guy is 99% vegan. I'm gonna let that one sit in. All right, while you marinating on that, he's actually also gonna be the most unique sustainer of Honkai Star Rail. He's actually one of a kind. He's the first of his kind. So I always talk about how sustainers need to be more than just sustainers in order to be valuable, especially in today's Honkai Star Rail. Like if you sustain, but you're also like a harmony character, like Scooby-Doo and Fuchuan, 10% crit chance boost, energy recharge, attack percent boost. As a sustainer, that's incredibly valuable. But you need to be able to do more than just sustain. Aventurine is looking to be a sustainer and a DPS. And I know you can think like Crit Lorcha or like Crit Fuchuan, but no. Bro's gonna be a much better DPS than both of those, even if you're going out of your way to make them DPS. And I wanna talk about that and get into the details for that in today's video. But first, before we get into the main entree, allow me to plug in our lovely sponsor for today's video. Thank you to Monsters Never Cry for sponsoring this video. Have you guys heard of this game? It is an anti-hero idle RPG game. That's right, have you seen the show The Boys? You know who Homelander is? Yeah, we're on that kind of energy. We're not the heroes, we're the guys who beat up the heroes. We're gonna send those little nerds from the Adventurers Guild to the Shadow Realm. Now, as the main protagonist, we're playing this almighty and powerful Demon Lord King, but we've lost all of our powers and now we're just a baby little spider. We gotta get back to our pristine and original peak form, because right now, we're Charmander when we used to be Charizards. You know, it's a problem. We got to take care of this. What we got to do is rebuild our Exiled City, reaccumulate all of our Devil Legions and powerful soldiers, and as we level up, we get to evolve. You even literally get to watch the evolution. It looks really cool. Also, the art style, which is one of the most enjoyable aspects of this game that I've seen thus far, is like a mixture of anime meets comic book. Also, are you busy? Do you work 9 to 5s, come home, and feel like you just have no time available? Is that a concern? Rest assured, you can collect resources without even playing the game. You just log in for a couple of minutes every day to manage your castle, build up your monsters, and then you can log back off. It's actually perfect for casual gamers. Now, I want to talk to you all about one of the coolest features I've seen in this game. You can hatch eggs into monsters. Even further, you can hatch eggs and get a shiny version of that monster. This was the coolest thing I've seen in this game. Genuine excitement surged out of my soul when I saw this. Kudos to Monsters Never Cry for thinking of it. It's very nice. If you like Pokemon, you're really gonna enjoy that experience right there. I had to save the best news for last. They will be giving out, and I quote, 4,096 free summons to all new players on launch. I am not making this up. The way it's going to work is every day you log in, you get a free 10 pool until all 4,096 have been issued to you. In addition to this, there will be a plethora of resources they will be giving you every day you log in as well to assist with building up your account, your castle, progressing your monsters, etc. There's gonna be a ton of things for you guys to do. So what are you waiting on? Join all the Demon Lords from all around the world in these exclusive Easter events in Monsters Never Cry. Click the link down below in the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section to download it now. Also, there is a public beta test dropping on March 18th of this month. Mark your calendars and I'll see you then. Okay, so like there's some important details as usual that they left out in the live stream when they were showcasing a bit of Aventurine's kit and how it functions. Unfortunately, we're not going to touch up on those details because that is considered leaked territory, but y'all know me. I do like walking up to the line and at least trying to provide as much information as I can with what I'm capable of doing. First thing I want to talk to you about is this shield. Let's just talk about the value of the shield. Bro has a Japard ult with his skill. That's crazy. The skill provides a shield, and then when he follow-up attacks, another shield is provided. and they stack, which is wild, right? So that's like dead ass power creeping Japard. I don't know how else to communicate that to you. Japard has to get his ult up to give you a shield. Now, of course, he's gonna get power crept eventually, right? He's a standard banner 5-star sustainer. Of course, it was bound to happen. The thing that's good about Aventurine using his skill is allow me to plug in my boy Arlon, right? Now Arlon has a reliable shielder who can keep the shield on him forever, and he can have a 1% HP bar. All right, I know y'all don't care about Arlon, all right? But that's my boy. I gotta look out for him sometimes. Let me look out for my bro sometimes. The other thing that's good about the shield, all jokes aside, is Sam. Sam's debuff to healers is pretty annoying to deal with. Now that we have a shielder coming out who's incredibly reliable with keeping the uptime of that shield activated, that's something that cannot be overlooked. He is definitely going to counter the hell out of units like Sam, and Sam can be a foreshadowing in a sense that Hoyoverse can add in more units that are annoying and debuff healers, which I like that. That's a good thing. I don't want healers to always be the go-to. In fact, it is long overdue for shielders to start becoming viable. So please add more units in the game like Sam. I would love that. Anyways, the other thing that they revealed in the live stream is that he's a follow-up attack synergy. He does follow-up attacks himself, but when other units on the team do follow-up attacks, they expedite the process of him triggering his own follow-up attack. So if you put them on any teams with people like Dr. Ratio, Topaz, Himiko, Herta, all the follow-up attack units, they're gonna make him perform better. But is he only limited to follow-up attack units? Is that the only way that he can function? No, he is also the very first sustainer to be able to inflict the debuff while in battle, right? Like Scooby-Doo can inflict the debuff with her technique by causing fear. It lasts for 2 turns and it even perpetuates into the other cycles, which is actually very valuable. And that's also synergistic with Acheron, but Scooby-Doo has an energy recharge who Acheron could give a less about that little perk. But Zesty can actually inflict a debuff with his ult, which means Acheron's gonna get an extra point of slash to dream, I believe it's called. That's her energy recharge so that she can use her ult. So Zesty's probably gonna be best in slot for Acheron as a sustainer, by the way. A lot of people do this with DPS. A lot of just tiny brain people. They try to evaluate a unit based off of their singular performance in a game where you use 4 characters. Why would you evaluate a unit by themselves in a multifaceted combat mechanic game that has 4 characters where they all synergize with one another in a multi-elemental functioning system? Oh man, it blows my mind every time. It's like, what an idea. This character sucks by themselves, but when you put them in a team, oh my God, they become so much better. Imagine evaluating a single character based off of singular performance in a team-oriented game. Couldn't be me, guys. Anyways, Acheron is gonna be put on teams. I know this is Zesty, we're gonna get back to him, where she's not the only one dealing damage, right? If you put her with Zesty, he's dealing damage. If you put her with Black Swan, Kafka, now you got 4 different people dealing damage and that team synergizes. So it's at the point now where like Acheron's broken because of the team that functions around her as well. That's something that people overlook all the damn time. You know what I mean? They just say, oh, this person's not doing as much damage as this person. Yeah, but that person has to hog up all the damage on the team. That's a Shao type of individual where he's the only one dealing damage. What if she's dealing just a little bit less damage than him, but the other 3 are dealing way more damage collectively? You know what I mean? So that's something not to overlook. And it's also the biggest value that I've seen on our boy Zesty. He can deal DPS as a sustain, which means if you put him on any team, he's not only keeping your team alive, he's contributing to the overall DPS per cycle. And that is massive. DPS is king, guys. I don't care how you spin it. DPS is always king, damage, dealing damage. So he's gonna be a meta sustainer from where I stand, just from the simple concept of sustain while also dealing damage. Now, buff can compete with DPS as well. But right now, the sustainers, like Fushuan's 10% crit chance at E0, and then Scooby-Doo's energy recharge and attack percent, which is the strongest like buff out of all sustainers. But is that 40% attack boost and the energy recharge going to compete with Zesty's damage? That is the biggest question. Can he DPS enough to surpass Scooby-Doo and Fushuan? Now I'll go ahead and spin it to you. Even if he did do all that, The reality of the situation for veteran players is a lot of people already have their sustains and they just don't need another sustainer, even if that sustainer can deal damage. I'm merely having a conversation here with you guys to explain to you how my mind is pondering and evaluating this character, just so you can, take your ideas and then throw them in the box or the pot with mine and we cook up something together. I think he's a fantastic unit to pick up for newer players who don't have sustainers. I think if you pick this guy up, his shield is so cracked and his DPS is so solid that you're going to be in good hands. But if you're somebody who already has sustainers, the argument will forever remain the same. You don't need another sustainer. You only need 2. And if you really know what you're doing, you can keep the 2 that they give you, which is like Natasha and Lynx. Now, I'll be honest with you, you're going to be getting sweaty, but it is doable and it can get the job done, especially considering most of my showcases you guys see these days, I'm not even running a sustainer. But getting back on track, I did take a gander at his weakness break capabilities. That's another thing that is overlooked from sustainers. Can they break shields easily in the sustainer role? This is going to be another variable on top of the baseline of just sustaining. Bro's got some sustaining, some weakness break capabilities. His talent, it ticks multiple times. The follow attack, it ticks multiple times, and each one of those is a small shield break value. So if you have Ruan Mei on the team with him, it now gets amplified, and those small ticks, if only one unit is on the field, is actually wild from a sustainer. That's the most important thing you have to take into consideration. Bro's sustainer and the weakness break that he's doing with his ultimate and his follow-up is also first of its kind in the sustain role. Nobody else is doing this man's shield breaking capabilities. The double-edged sword is that the more units there are, the more that gets dispersed and spread out amongst the units on the field. But individually, oh man, he's breaking shields and putting the imaginary debuff, imprisonment, on their head. So now he's not only sustaining, he's also dealing DPS, and he's also a shield breaker. This is undeniable value that for me is already placing him on the level, if not a higher level, than Fu Xuan and Scooby-Doo. But it is still debatable at this point. The big weakness of his kit is he has ass cheek buffing capabilities. They try to bait you with the crit damage buff. Yeah, I took a gander at it. Nah, it's a meh. I'll be honest, it's a meh. All right, so but again, and I spoke with my boy Vulcan about this. You can't expect somebody to sustain, deal good damage, and be a harmony buffer all in one row, right? That will break the game. So it makes sense that they tone down that. The other final thing is, can he strip buffs off the enemy? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. Can he prevent you from getting crowd control, which is very important. A lot of people like to say it's overvalued. No, the f it's not. Okay, it's annoying when you have to reset because your goddamn Bailu's over there taking a strong ass nap, hibernating like a bear, and then your other DPS getting sent to the shadow realm. Oh, Bailu's good because she can revive people. Not as she over there taking them Supreme Z's, bro. She ain't reviving nobody over there in the goddamn Avatar Last Airbender realm. You better wake up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, speaking of which, bro does have some crowd control perks in his kit, but it's not to the degree of like Fu Xuan where everyone's protected for at least a turn, right? It's not to the degree of Scooby-Doo where as soon as you come up, get that shit out my face, Kafka, deny, full counter. He has some in there, but it's like tamed. It's pretty tamed. But overall, I think he's an S+ sustainer, given everything I just provided with you. And if you pick him up, it's in good hands. I think he's going to be best of slot sustainer for Acheron, and I think he's going to be good for all the follow-up synergies. I'm picking him up on my free-to-play account because my free-to-play account is heavy on follow-up attack synergy. And I could use a sustainer other than Lynx, Fire Trailblazer, and Natasha. We're not doing that, all right? That's too sweaty. That's too annoying to deal with as well. Those are all my thoughts. You guys comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. As always, it's a pleasure. Peace, love, and happiness, and I'll see you on the next video.